chances are if you grew up in the 90s, especially in about the mid to late 90s, maybe early 2000s, hearing the name Pokemon instills a lot of nostalgia. Now, don't get me wrong, I grew up with Pokemon. I loved every second of it. In fact, I was actually quite fucking obsessed with it to the point that back when the trading card game first started, I actually was a gym leader. Yeah, dark times in my life. But hey, everybody has what they're interested in. And I'm not saying that if you still like Pokemon, especially like if you're my age or everything, that's totally fucking fine. Some people grew out of it, some people fucking didn't. But there are some things that I really want to touch base on that really fucking just, I don't know, make no sense to me about, like, the series as a whole. Now, for instance, I want to, like, touch base on the fact that there are a lot of differences between the actual games and then the TV show and manga that was inspired or was a spin-off of it. Obviously, there are differences between the manga and between the TV show. And also, I do believe maybe a lot of it is that when Pokemon was first created, I like, with anything, I don't believe any fucking developer of any fucking thing or anybody that's ever created anything has ever had any, or at least had the arrogance to think that it was going to last so long. So it's kind of like one of those things where you establish this world and everything, and you don't really expect it to go as far or for as long as it does end up. So you don't plan for that. But like, so like, for instance, one of the things, like, you know, that I want to touch base on is that, like, there are differences between the games and the manga and then the TV show. And I actually really feel like a lot of the TV show, like, it was really one of those weird, like, it was an anime, and I think it was one of those weird things that since it was, like, introduced so widely and quickly in America, unlike a lot of other animes, that a lot of people kind of forget that it was an anime, that it's not an American show, originally. And so, like, I mean, there's those differences. So, like, a lot of the things that I really, like, touch base on, except for, like, especially, like, because this is just going to be, like, one of the first videos I do. So, especially, the things I especially touch base on, is probably about the only video that I'm going to do talking about this subject that actually literally, encompasses something that deals with both the games and the TV, like, both the games, TV show / manga. And this is like, becoming a trainer, like, the process of becoming one. Now, traditionally, in the game and in the show, we don't really hear about people becoming trainers, like, later on, like, just suddenly deciding they're going to be trainers. Most of the time, like, in the game and in the show and all that shit is typically people in this world become, or start their journey to become a Pokemon trainer at the age of 10. Why the fuck 10-year-olds? Like, who, on what fucking committee, like, sat there, like, fuck the Pokemon committee, there's twisted bastards. But, like, seriously, like, who the fuck sat there? You know, we live in this world with all these extremely superpowered animals, like these fucking creatures that are capable of using the forces of nature and sometimes the power of the mind to just fucking murder things. Like, who said, you know what? You know what seems like a great fucking idea? Let's send 10-year-olds out to do that. 10-year-olds, people. I don't know about you, but at 10, I don't think I literally had the fucking survival skills. Like, no, I knew a lot about animals. I knew animals existed. I knew the danger of certain animals, but that by fucking no means that I was ready to go fucking work in a zoo or some shit. Like, 10-year-olds, like, Jesus fuck, it's the precursor of puberty. You're a preteen at that point. You're literally about to enter in one of the toughest goddamn fucking times of any human being's life, like, at all ever. So really, fucking 10-year-olds, we're sending 10-year-olds out to fight, or excuse me, we're going to take these 10-year-olds, give them one of these superpowered creatures when they're at their base level, like their base level of their existence, because these things fucking evolve into much more bigger and terrifying and more powerful fucking creatures. But we're gonna give them the babies. And with no, like, real prior training or no, you know, whatever the fuck, we're just gonna fucking send them out there with them and then have them use those animals that, for all intents and purposes, were probably fucking wild before this point. Like, I don't think they were bred in captivity. I mean, I don't know, they might have been. I didn't focus really on those kind of details when I was younger, and so there might be actually something absolutely that I'm fucking missing here. And if somebody knows, please, for God's sake, put it in the fucking comments. I'm all about learning more about something that was a passing fancy in my life. Okay, I say passing fancy, but, like, it pretty much predominant, like, owned my life probably up until, I don't know, like, I was out of, like, I started to phase out of it in, like, end of middle school, but I was obsessed with it for a good hot minute. As was most kids my age at that time, because it, like, was a really big fucking deal, like, to the point of, like, my school, what, like, Pokemon, anything was fucking banned. Like, I couldn't even have a fucking folder with Pokemon on it. It was pretty nuts. But so, like, it just makes no fucking sense. Like, 10-year-old, that seems really fucking, like, horrible. And so, like, from there, like, my question is, like, how specifically do they do the sorting and the choosing for, like, the kids? Like, is it first come, first serve? Or do they have, like, set children in mind? Is it done, like, and I don't know if this, in this world, I know, like, there's different regions, like, Johto, Kanto, this, all that, what the fuck ever. I still haven't really tried, like, it's been so fucking long since I was involved and, like, learned about Pokemon and, like, gave a fucking shit that I don't even know, like, how many continents, whatever the fuck, are howling things down anymore. It's all really beyond me. And not only that, I can also tell with a lot of the fucking Pokemon, you can tell they're really fucking running out of ideas. And, like, that's a whole other subject for another fucking rant. But, like, how do they choose? Like, how are these kids specifically chosen? Like I said, is it first come, first serve? And, like, is it sort of like, I know, like I said, they have regions and everything, but, like, I know there's towns within regions. Like, for instance, Ash is from Pallet Town. But there are different towns within different regions, and so, like, do they have counties? Because, like, in Nashville, in the greater Nashville area, there is more, like, where I'm from, there is more than one county that coexists within the city limits and with what is considered, you know, the greater Nashville area. I know at least 3. Like, I know that metropolitan Nashville is, like, Davidson County, all this, that, and the other. And so, like, that's another thing. Like, is it done by city? Is it done by counties, if those are a thing that exist in this world? It's just, like, it's like, how are those kids chosen? Not only that, specifically how many kids are chosen from a city? Because, like, while, yes, the original set of Pokemon, there was 151, but a number of those were either considered to be extinct or fossils, which that's just some serious science shit that I don't even want to fucking try and figure out right now, and that literally is for another fucking rant. But, like, some of them were, you know, considered to be extinct. There were also some that were considered legendaries, which means either they existed once, and evidence is, it's sort of like along the lines of like the fossil Pokemon, like the dinosaur, like whatever the fuck Pokemon. And so, like, obviously not all of those can be used, because, like, if I remember correctly, like, when I first watched the show as a kid, like, Ash got there too late, and the only Pokemon left was an unruly Pikachu. Now, in the manga, the reason his Pokemon that he first went out with was Pikachu was because it was underneath his fucking house chewing the wires, and his mom told him to go fucking get it. So it's no different than, you know, mom being like, hey, free labor, go get the rodent from under the house. Like, Pikachu apparently Pikachus in the comics are very much apparently, like, seen as vermin, like, no different than, like, mice that are in the house or rats or whatever. And so, like, because, you know, as anybody that knows anything about Pokemon, there is the base Pokemon, and then it evolves into other things. And so, like, it's just like, how the fuck, like, do they, like, obtain all these, like, base Pokemon, like, standards? And, like, I guess, like, I did notice that sort of, like, in that it was first come, first serve, but it's just, like, is it like Hogwarts where you get a letter, it's like, hey, by the way, we noticed you're 10 now, so it's time for you to become a Pokemon trainer if you so want to. Like, I noticed, like, it's not a forced thing, but, like, it's obviously, you can tell in this world, it's, like, over-glorified, and so, like, everybody wants to do it. And, yeah, there are some people who don't want to be Pokemon trainers, they want to be breeders, or this, that, or the other, and, like, it's cool, there's job diversity, but, like, seriously, like, how do they choose the kids? Like, how the fuck, like, again, still baffled by the whole why 10-year-old thing. Like, seriously, I would wait till they're fucking, like, 15 so they could fucking, like, I don't know, or 16, like, drive. Actually, I don't actually know in this country what their like, in this fictional country, like, what their standards are for how old you have to be to drive, this, that, and the other. And that brings me to another fucking point. Like, how the fuck do trainers afford to do this? Because, like, I mean, yeah, I can imagine they're able to do, like, odd jobs here and there, but, like, are there just no, like, child labor laws put in place? Or, like, is there, like, some government grant? It's like, oh, your child has decided to go out and be a Pokemon trainer. Well, we're going to give you a stipend so you can send your kid like, how the fuck does that work? Like, how the fuck does this happen? Because, like, Obviously, I don't expect a 10-year-old to have the kind of fucking money you need to basically backpack across an entire fucking country. Because, like, let's think about this. They have to be able to afford food. They have to be able to afford staying in hotels. They have to be able to afford food for their Pokemon and other such supplies that are needed. It's like owning a pet while traveling. Like, there are so many fucking expenses that have to be fucking paid for. So, like, my thing of it is like, do the kids, like, I can't believe for a fucking second that the kids are the one paying for this. Like, so, like, I can't imagine that for parents, like, having to send them money. It's like kind of like having, like, a bank, like, basically a reloadable card that parents can, like, reload with money or whatever the fuck, like, remotely or some shit. But the thing of it is that's still, somebody has to foot the bill for that crap. Like, how the fuck? Like, how do they afford to do this? Like, it's either, like, the only thing I can imagine is that supplies for being a Pokemon trainer are cheap in the which I don't ever remember them being super cheap in the game. Like, I remember sitting there being like, God fucking damn it. Like, to be able to afford certain things like that you needed to actually, like, finish quests, whatever the fuck. Like, how? Like, what the absolute fuck? And so, like, that's one question I've always fucking had, like, how the fuck do they afford to do it? But, like, another thing that I don't fucking understand is, like, I'm sorry, these are 10-year-olds that are being sent out into the wild with superpowered fucking animals. Aside from, it's been established that there are regular fucking animals, so there are actual fucking, like, certain animals from our world apparently do exist in that one. So then there's those you gotta fucking deal with. And so, like, the thing is, like, you can't convince me there isn't some kind of fucking mortality rate in this world. And so, how and why is it not talked about? Like, what? There's a part of me that doesn't understand, like, what the whole fucking end game of, like, being a Pokemon trainer is. Because, I mean, if you really think about it, it quite honestly is just over-glorified fucking dog fighting. Like, except unlike, you know, dogs, these animals exhibit a level of sentience. Like, this is fucking absurd. Like, this is basically a metaphor for some kind of fucked up slavery. And so, like, you know, it's just like, why 10-year-olds? Like, how the fuck are these kids chosen? Like, how can they afford to do this? And it's just like, there's only, like, I only actually ever remember one fucking episode where any kind of, like, mortality rate was spoken about, but, like, it wasn't really, like, discussed, like, age. It was that one episode, like, where they were out at sea, like, on a boat, and, like, Officer Jenny is like, all those brave trainers that lost their lives, which, if I don't remember exactly how they died, but, like, obviously it was a significant amount. But it sounds like it wasn't through causes of actually being a Pokemon trainer or some shit, like some, like, fucking mishap at sea with, like, a transport boat or a ferry or whatever. Like, and so it's just like, none of this fucking shit makes any goddamn sense to me. And so, like, there are just some things that, like, I'm generally just kind of like, what the absolute fuck about? Like, for instance, like, with becoming a trainer, like, it's just, like, I mean, like, I feel like I really, like, but the thing is, like, there are certain theories that I fucking have, and it's like, I don't know if anybody's seen, like, if anybody watching this video has seen Battle Royale. I kind of feel like it's like one of those fucked situations, except instead of, like, fucking tricking the kids and thinking that they're going out on some, like, fun field trip with all their friends, like, they make it, like, they're like, oh no, we're going to disguise this actual fucking, like, because at least, like, in Battle Royale, they put them on a bus, make them think they're going on a fucking, like, you know, going on a field trip. But then when they get there, they're like, oh yeah, by the way, you're actually gonna have to fucking murder all your goddamn classmates, and there can only be one of you left standing. Whereas it seems like maybe in this world, human population got the way the fuck out of control. And this was their flawed, like, fucking response to it. Sending kids out into the wild, making it seem like it's this brave and noble thing, or this, like, desirable fucking trait, or, like, job, or whatever. Like, not only that, like, how the fuck are gyms funded? Like, how does becoming a gym leader actually really fucking work? Like, I've noticed in, like, some of them it's an inherited thing, and then, like, some of them it's because you just became so fucking badass. Like, there's just a lot of fucking shit that's left out, and it's kind of like, my theory here is like, basically it is, like, some, like, really fucked Battle Royale type thing, and, like, it's basically, like, worst case scenario, like worst case Jurassic Park fucking thing, like, fucking genetic, like, super science tampering with genetics went wrong, And so, like, the only way, like, it's basically, like, you know, humanity went to, like, the fucking brink of extinction, and then we got control of these fucking creatures. Like, there are so many goddamn fucking theories. And it's just, like, any one of them could be fucking plausible to the way the world of Pokemon actually works, but it's just, like, first and foremost, becoming a trainer is by far the most baffling fucking thing, because it's, like, these are 10-year-olds. 10-year-olds. No. 10-year-olds are not ready for that level of responsibility. You can't convince me they fucking are. I don't give a fuck how smart that kid is. Like, for real. But not only that, like, most of the gym leaders, if you ever notice, are fucking adults. People who have been doing this longer. So it's, like, actually really, like, an unfair fucking fight. Like, setting older teenagers, slotting them up against, like, 10, 11-year-olds, and, like, how is that? That's just really fucking shitty, where, it, like, literally, like, when, like, they're like, oh, this gym leader is, like, super unbeatable. It's basically saying that this person that is usually an older teenager or an actual adult is just really good at beating the fucking crap out of novice trainers' Pokemon. Like, that sounds real fucking craptacular to me. Like, literally, and, like, how do fucking gyms stay open? Like, what's their fucking business? Like, how do they make money? Like, is it a government-funded thing? Like, there are just all these fucking questions. And maybe it was explained in the fucking series when I was a kid, and I just never fucking committed it to memory and just committed all the really shit to memory. So, like, yeah, no, like, so it's just like, you know, this is about, like I said, this is about, fuck. It's just, a lot of this shit just doesn't fucking make sense to me, so I'm just sitting here, like, real super fucking confused about that. So, I mean, like, if anybody has some light to shed on fucking things in the comments, please, by all fucking means, go ahead and do it. Because I don't understand, and I don't know if I'm ever going to understand. There are some parts of me that don't really fucking want to. Like, but it's like one of those things, like, now that I'm older, and, like, it's like, where's the lie? Like, I can't fucking ignore, like, the glaring fucking plot holes and shit. Like, that's great that little kids enjoy it. It's so fucking great that it's still around. Like, hell the fuck yeah. But, my whole thing of it is that I can't, like, ignore the glaring plot holes and the glaring, like, lack of logic in certain aspects. But it's just, like, I guess I, like, wanted to really, like, just first, like, really just go off about the fucking, like, how trainers are fucking chosen and, like, this, that, and the other. It's just weird. Like, so, I mean, like, as much as I do enjoy, like, the nostalgia and everything I get from it, and it's great that people are still interested, there's so much fucking shit. There's so many things that fuck me up about, like, you know, now that I'm older and I understand certain things, it's like, how the fuck? And I mean, like, I might just eventually do it, like, a video of, like, all my different theories for things, but I don't know. But again, I mean, that's just Pokemon.